One last song from Stormcock. Today I'm going to show you how to play the same old rock. On this video I'm going to focus on Roy's guitar part, because as you probably know this is kind of a two-guitar song. Roy plays more of a rhythm guitar, and then there's Jimmy Page playing lead guitar all along. But Roy's guitar part is really what you need to know in case you want to play the song by yourself or eventually sing it. So I will leave Jimmy Page's part aside, and it would be almost impossible anyway. So on the original version, Roy uses a 12-string guitar tuned down half a tone to D sharp. But you can play it on a regular 6-string, which is the way that Roy been doing, well, ever since he recorded the song. Maybe not in the very first years, but soon he started using only 6 strings when he plays the song live. And it plays the same way. So may sound a little different, but it's the same. So the same old rock starts with an instrumental section that uses a chord progression that later will be used for the chorus that shows up later in the song. And that chord progression is rooted on this E minor riff. So I will start by showing you how to play this E minor riff. And you can play it the simple way, which is just like this. So this is just simple strumming, and you lift these 2 fingers that make the E minor chord. You lift them off the strings. But you will notice that when Roy wants this riff to sound stronger with a little bit more intensity, things are a little bit more specific, and it goes like this. So the left hand work is the same. You lift the 2 fingers, and what changes is the right hand work. So let's check that in detail. So if you play it the easy way, you just have to strum it like this. Now, if you want to play it the other way, so the difference is that when you're strumming, you stress certain notes. First, it's this one, 4th string open, and the second time the 3rd string open. So it goes. So you alternate between the 4th string open and the 3rd string open. So the idea is to play it like this, and then gradually lose power and change to simple strumming before changing to the next chord. Now, I said I wasn't going to talk about Jimmy Page's guitar part, but consider this a side note. The thing is that this E minor riff can only be fully appreciated with the 2 guitars playing simultaneously. So both guitars are equally important in the making of this E minor riff. Now I've shown you what Roy is playing, so now I'm going to show you what Jimmy Page plays. And Page is playing a 6-string guitar, also tuned down to D sharp, and his part goes like this. So you start by picking the 6th string open, and then you pick the 4th string on the 2nd fret and slide it to the 5th fret with your ring finger, like this. And when you arrive here, you have to do this chord here. Ring finger on the 4th string 5th fret and index finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. Makes this chord. Like this. Now, the secret here is the right hand picking, which I'm going to show you in detail now. So your right hand goes down, up, down, up. Okay, now let's continue with the chords that make that chord progression that I was talking about. So from this E minor riff, you go to A minor. And then back to E minor. While on A minor you do this lick in which you lift your fingers from the chord, then back to E minor, and then you go to this chord. This is a C major 7th. You do it with these fingers here, because the next chord is this one, which is kind of a B7th with the 1st string open. And back to the E minor riff. The second time around you go to A minor again, and then back to the E minor riff, and then you go to D, and then back to E minor. Now let's jump forward a bit, because this is the chord progression that serves as a base for the chorus, and it goes like this. Then you try to tell me with consternation that you have found me a brand new love. that there's only one combination. One new swing, the same old rock. Okay, so after this instrumental intro, there is what I call the first song, which is in G, and so you are playing the E minor riff, and then you change to G. So this part uses basically three chords: G, C, and D. All along the ancient ways, in reflection spin, that gather all the times. So I'm not going to go through all of it because it uses only these three chords and it's easy to figure out when you have to change and to what chord. I'm just going to show you the chords that go with those last lines of this verse or song, and it's that part that goes fighting for the promised land. G, D, C, D, A minor, E minor, and D. Fighting for the promised land. And then on the way out, G. This is a kind of a D. And back to the E minor riff. So we're back to the E minor riff and to that chord progression, because now we have the first chorus, which we've seen already, so I'm not going to go again through it. And at the end of that chorus, you are in E minor, and you change to E major, and then E7, like this. And now it starts what I call the second song within this song, which is in A. There is a famous straggler stood on the edge of time, who held the staff but did not feel the pain. This part is always the same, and it has this structure: A, D, A, G, D, A, E, A. And then at the end, rude and clear is the call in black and white across your wall. Damn it all, man, can't you see? So this is D, A, E, A. Very easy. And the way out of this second song, you go back to the E minor riff. Now let me show you this descending progression in detail. You start with the A chord and you have to pick the bass on the 5th string open, so it's the A note. The second bass note is a G and you have to reach for the 6th string on the 3rd fret, like this, while keeping the A chord. The third bass note is an F sharp, and I like to do it with my thumb, like this. This way it allows me to keep the complete A chord, and the final chord is this one. So the 2nd string is now open and you press the 6th string on the 1st fret with your index finger. So at this point in the song there is a second chorus, so we've already seen that. Then there is a section with vocal swirling and percussion, and then there is this part with a riff on the 6th string with the 2 guitars playing in unison, and it goes like this. So there are 2 variations. The first one is in triplets and it goes. E minor. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Slowly. The second variation goes. So you will notice that on this variation there is a muted note right in the middle of it, like this. Slowly. Okay, the muted note is the third one. Muted note. Repeat. Repeat. Slowly. So after this comes a part in which both guitars are soloing, and Roy's guitar part is more or less around this type of thing. So you will notice that we are playing the 1st and 2nd strings simultaneously, doing a bar on the first 2 strings and using this scale. So it's a matter of improvising around this scale. Then if you want to give it a little bit more flair, you can play the same scale but use only the 1st string and leave the 2nd string open, like this. this way you can do these hammerings and pull-offs, which are pretty cool. Finally, the song ends with a long guitar solo by Jimmy Page, during which Roy is playing the A minor and B minor chords, like this. So A minor, alternate between the 5th string bass and the 6th string bass, and then the same with the B minor. Finish with A minor and E minor. Always back to E minor.